God, Trump, and the future of America. So, I mean, basically...
Trump would probably like to switch the order of those.
Yes.
But nevertheless.
I would like to remove one of them.
I thought, God, I know. Trump too?
No, remove one from the discussion. The other one, I don't need to remove because I don't have any reason to think he exists, but the discussion is good.
Well, don't you make your life talking about him?
I do spend a lot of time talking about him.
It'd be like if I've spent my life talking about unicorns.
It would be, except that you don't live in a world where the overwhelming majority of people believe in unicorns and are trying to legislate what other people can do based on what they think unicorns want.
What is, since we're into it.
This is how it goes.
Yeah. What is a specific, concrete example of someone trying to do that?
Of trying to...
Well, somebody who says, God told me X, and I want you, Matt, therefore, to do Y.
Oh, it's
Who says that? Who takes that position that you're spending your life fighting?
Sure. So, are we in any way suggesting that there's not a particularly loud and well-financed fundamentalist religious right who are stacking the courts in accordance with their ideology, which is influenced by their religious things? I have family members who are primarily single-issue voters. Like, if there's two candidates and one is set out to end abortion and the other one's not, that's the only thing that matters to them. And so I think it puts people in a position where they're probably voting against their own best interests.
Can you name, just pursuing this to see what we're talking about, can you name a single Supreme Court justice who, in your opinion, does not arrive at their judgments for any constitutional or jurisprudential or moral or philosophical reason, but simply consults a divine oracle in order to make a ruling? Can you name one of them?
Oh, no. I'm not in any way suggesting people don't genuinely have these beliefs. It's just that if people's views, like people within all of them, whether they're Supreme Court justices or not, they're going to have particular views on how the way the world's going to work. You and I are. And
sure,
there are people, I have no idea if you're one of them, there are people whose view on how the world should work should be, everything should be working in accordance with my understanding of this deity.
Well, let's take an example, because I think the discussion can become kind of airy if we don't pin it down.
Okay.
Let's talk about abortion.
Sure.
Okay. Did you know, for example, that Christopher Hitchens was pro-life?
I know, for example, that Christopher Hitchens was not pro-life.
Well,
he was. So there's two different aspects of this. First of all, it doesn't matter what Hitchens believed in the first place, but he wasn't in favor of making it illegal. And my primary issue when it comes to like abortion is the legality, not whether or not somebody thinks it's immoral or not.
I interviewed Hitchens years ago for a magazine, and we talked about this issue. And he made what I thought was an interesting point coming from an atheist perspective, which was, he said, look, it's one thing if you say that you believe in Hindu reincarnation in which we have many different lives, or if you believe that there is a life to come in which if you happen to be terminated in the womb, you're going to go to life everlasting. He goes, I don't believe any of that. I believe we have one life. This is it. This is the only one. And so ultimately, it is the greatest value. And if you have a life that is coming into being and it's snuffed out, all its choices interrupted at the outset, he goes, you got to think before you do that, right? Now, let's leave the legality issue, because I think the abortion debate has become radicalized since Hitchens died. Whether Hitchens would have supported late-term abortion, we don't really know. But what I'm trying to say is that here's Hitchens.
And I don't really care.
You don't really care. But the point I'm trying to make is this. You're saying that religious people apply a worldview. And I'm saying you do too. Hitchens does too. All of us have a worldview.
I think I just said that like 3 minutes ago. The issue is whether or not, so if somebody's saying that their worldview is right because it comes from the divine, and there's no demonstration that A, there is anything divine, or that they have any good understanding of what the divine would want, then I would hope that we would agree that that is at least a fallacious appeal to an authority that can't be demonstrated.